The Labour Party earlier this year had to be dragged into even uttering the words ceasefire. So can I ask him, will he show the leadership that his bosses failed to do and say that if Benjamin Netanyahu's feet touch the ground in the UK, you will comply with the arrest warrant?
Hey people, as the so-called main parties lurch further and further to the right, it's always good to see a genuine socialist hold the government to account for its actions, or in this case, inaction. Stephen Flynn, who represents the S.N.P in the House of Commons, demanded to know the UK's official stance on the arrest warrants issued to Benjamin Netanyahu and former Israeli Defence Minister Yoav Gallant by the ICC last week. Many other countries have since declared that they will comply with the warrants, but as things stand, the Labour Party have been markedly silent on the matter, hardly surprised when so many cabinet members are paid up puppets of the Zionist state, including Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Foreign Secretary David Lammy. Flynn demanded to know what the UK's position is. Being a signatory of the ICC, we would be legally obliged to carry out an arrest warrant should Netanyahu or Gallant set foot on British soil. Hamish Falconer, who was at the dispatch box representing Labour, gave a pathetic response that didn't even acknowledge the direct question and shows how by dragging their feet on the issue, Labour are more concerned with appeasing their Israeli paymasters than upholding the law. This comes with lashings of irony, given how often Starmer likes to remind people that he used to be Director of Public Prosecutions. Let's see what's happening.
Speaker, last year the Labour Party had to be dragged into accepting that there was a collective punishment of the Palestinian people. Indeed, the Honourable Gentleman's boss said that war is ugly.
Remember that quote from Starmer that Stephen Flynn just mentioned? It's significant to how Falconer responds to the question.
The Labour Party earlier this year had to be dragged into even uttering the words ceasefire. So can I ask him, will he show the leadership that his bosses failed to do and say that if Benjamin Netanyahu's feet touch the ground in the UK, you will comply with the arrest warrant?
What do I say? I've got to say something, but he's got me by the balls here. In this moment, Hamish is thinking how to respond without addressing the direct question, so instead he tries to latch onto something, anything, that Flynn mentioned in the run-up to it.
Honourable Member says with dismay, war is ugly. War is ugly.
Yeah, you might act like you're agreeing with Stephen there, but the thing is, Hamish, it was a quote from Keir Starmer.
The Honourable Gentleman's boss said that war is ugly.
So you're actually only agreeing with yourselves. Obviously war is ugly, and those who are responsible for breaking international law should be held to account. That includes the man who's paying Falconer's boss and other MPs to err on his side at every opportunity, despite our obligations. Pathetic stuff here.
That is one big pile of shit.
And we are doing everything that we can to bring it to a close through all of the diplomatic measures that you would expect. This is not an issue for grandstanding. This is an issue for diplomacy, and that is what this government is committed to.
The question was whether Netanyahu would be arrested or not, rather than your general attitude towards war.
Will he show the leadership that his bosses failed to do and say that if Benjamin Netanyahu's feet touch the ground in the UK, you will comply with the arrest warrant?
And indeed, if you want to bring the illegal occupation of Palestine to a close, then you should stop sending weapons to the perpetrators, as well as ceasing spy plane runs at their behest, and instead impose proper sanctions on Israel. If you want to use proper diplomatic measures, then you'd also do well to force them to allow proper levels of aid to flow into Gaza, rather than have only a handful of trucks to supply 2 million people per day, as is currently trickling through. And even when it does, it's likely to be hijacked by the RDF or Zionist far-right civilians who celebrate the starvation of children in a grotesquely inhumane fashion. Falconer accusing Flynn of grandstanding is an equally poor attempt at deflection given the severity of the matter in hand. We're talking about someone that both Labour and Tory governments have repeatedly declared as an ally, being wanted by the International Criminal Court for a series of disgusting war crimes. This isn't something you can simply bat away or try to play down. We know how both Starmer and Lammy have tried to tap dance around the issue of UK complicity over the last year when confronted about arms sales to Israel in the House of Commons by members of the S.N.P, as well as the Green Party and independent MPs such as Zara Sultana, and former leader of the opposition Jeremy Corbyn.
And will he do what is morally and legally right and end the government's complicity in war crimes by banning all arms sales to Israel, including F-35 fighter jets, not just 30 licences, yes or no?
If an arrest warrant has been issued for the leader of a country, if the International Court of Justice has found it deeply wanting on its behaviour and as an occupying power and the war crimes that have been committed, why are we still supplying weapons that are taking part in the bombardment of Gaza that are destroying life as we speak?
On this issue, though, Labour can't try and cry hypothetical to dodge questions put to them and do as other nations such as France, Norway and Italy have done and make an official statement. As I said earlier, we've got a legal obligation to arrest either Netanyahu or Gallant if they set foot inside the United Kingdom. Unlike the United States, who aren't signatories to the International Criminal Court, we simply must. I'd like to know what you think about how Hamish Falconer tried to jump through hoops to avoid that question, so please let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons to help us out on the algorithm. You can now join the channel with a membership for just 99p with some great perks for you to enjoy, including exclusive content and early viewings, plus lots more. And you get to join the list of awesome people who support the channel that you can see on your screen right now. Hit the join button or follow the links in the channel description. If you'd like to make a one-off contribution, then please hit super thanks on the video or follow the link to our Buy Me a Coffee page where you can help to show solidarity and support the channel for just the price of a tasty hot beverage. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Thanks again everyone. My left eye, be seeing you soon.